good morning and good afternoon. I'm super happy to see you all here in this TEDx event, and I want to say welcome once more. Let me introduce myself first. I am Dira Frusobirva and I come from Ghana. And before starting my speech, I want you to look at the picture on the screen. What do you see on the screen?
And a person who's very unusual, yeah.
So from this picture, you can assume what I'll be talking about today, right? Again, before starting, I have a few questions. Can you raise your hand if somebody ever told you that you are a bit different from you, unusual? I see. Okay, keep your hands up. Raise your other hand if anyone told you that you're too much of something. Say you're too talkative, you're too quiet, you're too nerdy, too something.
She's my friend, so I know her.
Oh, I mean, you have it to me, I know. I mean, some people say that I study too much, some say that I talk too much, some say I laugh too much. So there are a lot of too much in life, actually. Okay, so, well, you know what? These too much and these unusual things are actually your superpowers. And I mean it, they are your superpowers. And today, I want to prove you why being unusual and being unique is one of the best things that could have ever happened to you. Part one, I want to start with my personal story. So for 6 years, I attended public school in Ghana. And I think most of you know what public schools look like. There were 31 people in my class, and I think around 26 or 27 of them didn't really feel like studying. However, I felt that I was different. When teacher assigned their homework, I did it on time, while none of them did it, and I really wanted to study. However, I sometimes felt like blending in, because when you're different from people, they behave differently, right? They look at you with different eyes. So sometimes, in an attempt to blend in, I didn't do the homework, just because to have a topic to discuss with my friends. And however, over time, I realized that that's what I'm destined to be. I need to study, and then after grade 4, I think I started attending English and math classes after school. So I kept learning, and eventually I got into residential school in Ghana. And I was again kind of different when I came to school. I was a bit quiet. So everyone in my class were communicating. They were getting to know each other, socializing, like, who are you, where do you come from, what grade you got. However, I was a bit quiet. I didn't really feel like talking to them. And in that way, I was again different. I was standing out. And I figured out a way of using this difference, using this uniqueness. What I did was, because I didn't talk to anyone, I spent most of my time alone. Alone means there's no one to distract me. So I used the time to learn something new, to learn something that I really liked, that I was genuinely passionate about. I learned different languages, German and Turkish, and I did like math and different stuff, musical instruments, etc. Over time, I developed a very big interest in camera and stage. So eventually, I started to love camera and people more and more. And I became sociable, I became communicative. However, I was different from people around me. They were also different, however in a different way. They were sociable because they talked to each other, say friends in their schools, etc., etc. However, I was sociable with people outside of my school. Say, I have friends from different countries, outside of my school, from different cities of Uzbekistan, and I discussed different topics. I took different videos, posted them on social media. So I tried to take advantage of my uniqueness and my differences. And then, third thing that was unique to me was when I decided to study biology and computer science. So people say that bio and chem are together, right? Biology and chemistry. Because they study both and they eventually pursue medicine. And others say computer science and math are together because people who study these subjects end up being engineers, etc., etc. However, from childhood, I really had this intense love for biology because my mom was a science teacher, my dad is a doctor, and I love biology, living organisms. I mean, that's who I am, biologically. And I also love computer science. In a way, the way computers work was interesting. Also, coding is an entertaining activity, to be honest. Finishing code and seeing it work really gives you dopamine, fun. So I figured out a way of combining them together. Even though it was believed to be awkward and unique at school, I studied them both, meaning that I didn't study chem and physics. I rather studied biology and computer science together. And soon I found out a job, a field called computation biology. That's a new arising job where you basically blend computer science with biology. You use computer science coding and method staff to explore more in biology. So I realized that because it's new, they lack specialists. So if I learn these two and become a specialist, they will definitely need me. So again, this uniqueness and this difference work for my advantage. So that's a bit about differences in my life, in my personal life. Let's not talk about science, because I love science. So neuroscientists or neurologists say that our brains are actually wired for uniqueness. So as you know, all 8 billion people in this world have different fingerprints, right? I think you all know about this, different fingerprints. And we all have different genes as well. So 46 chromosomes, different genes. We also have different brains because we have different life experiences. Not two people have the same life, have the same time that they wake up, the same things they do. It doesn't really exist in this world. So there's at least one thing that is unique to us that we need to take advantage of. In genetics, there is a term called mutation. In mutation, basically the DNA sequence in your genes will change. And people say that this change in gene leads to something bad, say negative. However, in history, from evolutionary perspective, this mutation and this change in genes led to evolutionary advantages, meaning that some intellectuals or some weird, useful plants or animals were developed after this genetic mutation. So see, this difference and this uniqueness in genes was to evolutionary advantage from our history. So what I want you to do is now, so you're all sitting, and I want you to take 10 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds to think of something that is unique to us, that people say too much. Say, if you are too talkative, then think of disability, or too quiet, or you're like too beautiful, just think about disability, too nerdy, just think of it for like 10 seconds. And yeah, and see what it is for. Okay, that's fine. And I now want you to think of a way in which you can turn this feature into a superpower. Say, if you talk too much, maybe you're meant to be a communicator or a leader who leads people, who communicates with people, or if you are too nerdy, or if you talk too much about a certain matter in science and physics, maybe you're meant to be a physicist or scientist or specialist in this very field. In my own example, I am crazy about Turkish movies. I think you all know about it, Turkish series, etc., etc. And I think I do it too much, and people say it. And the way I can turn it into superpower is, I think, by writing scripts or movies that are similar to Turkish movies. So I can use it in any way. Also, you all know about Einstein, right? Einstein is believed to be the father of physics, I guess. And when he was a kid, when he was a student, people said that he was a terrible student. In terms of academics, in terms of grades, he was believed to be literally terrible. And also there's Marie Curie. And Marie Curie was said that science is not for women. She was female, and she decided to pursue science, chemistry, and physics. And when she first started, people said that science is not for her, it's not for women. Only men can be scientists and great people. However, she basically broke these barriers, and she is literally the first woman and first person to get 2 Nobel Prizes, not 1, but 2. She even explored new elements, which are on our periodic table. And last but not least, you know Steve Jobs, right? When he started his ideation for it, people said that personal computers are impossible. So the ones that we carry with us, portable ones, people said that it was impossible because it was seen as something unusual and superior. However, he didn't give up, and he decided to pursue and continue. And now we all know what he does. I mean, how rich he is, and the advantage his discovery brought to humanity. So basically, When somebody again comes to you and says that you're kind of awkward, you're too much of something, you talk too much, just smile. Just like I do. Smiling is the best way to respond to people's opinion. Just smile and keep on. Think ways of using your superpower. Because you know what? The world does not need people who blend in and who try to fit in the environment. Rather, the world needs people who are brave enough to be there. Thank you.